Hello, Governor Christie. Could you please tell us more about how you think our immigration crisis in this country should be handled, as well as the education expense associated with this problem?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's some very basic principles that we need to stand by as a country. First of all, our borders have to be secure, and we have done an awful job of doing that. And we have to take every step necessary to make sure that happens. Second, we have to make sure that we have a fair way to allow people to continue to legally immigrate into this country and to immigrate at numbers that make sense. This country is built on immigrants. My relatives were immigrants, probably so were many, or if not most of yours in this room. And we need to make sure that we continue to be a country that expands the American economic pie by expanding the innovation and the thoughts and the dreams and the hopes of having people come here looking for a better life. Now, as to educational expense, I've dealt with this problem in New Jersey, and I need to be crystal clear about it. I want every child who comes to New Jersey to be educated. But I do not believe that for those people who came here illegally, that we should be subsidizing with taxpayer money through in-state tuition their education. And let me be very clear from my perspective, that is not a heartless position. That is a common sense position.
Governor Christie, you're known as a straight shooter, one not given to playing games. Can you tell us what's going on here? Are you reconsidering, or are you standing firm?
Listen, I have to tell you the truth. You folks are an incredible disappointment as an audience. The fact that that took to second question shows you people are off your game. That is not American exceptionalism. Listen, I'll be really succinct about this. I saw something great today on the Politico website, and I don't mean to be an advertiser for Politico, but they put 1 minute and 53 seconds of my answers strung back to back to back to back together on the question of running for the presidency. Everyone go to Politico.com. It's right on the front page. I'm not going to bore you with it now. Click on it. Those are the answers. Next question. Oh, come on. You know, grumble? Wait a second. Before you go now, okay, since we're having some grumbling, all right, I have rules too. Now, I've done 56 town hall meetings in 20 months as governor of New Jersey. And we have all the same rules the Reagan Library has, you know, wait for the microphone, say who you are, all that stuff. But we have a fourth rule that's really important in New Jersey. And let me tell you here, even though I am on foreign soil, I'm going to enforce this rule. And here's what the rule says. Rule is, listen, there could be people in this audience who don't like one of my answers who would disagree with me. And we welcome those people to stand up and to express their disagreement. And if you express it in a reasonable and respectful manner, you will get a reasonable and respectful disagreement in return. However, if this is the day that you decide you want to impress your friends on television, if this is the day you decide you want to take the governor of New Jersey out for a walk, I will give you the rule I give in New Jersey. For purposes of this evening's event, we are all from New Jersey. And what that means is you give it, you're getting it back.
Never mind. Two-part question. If
Sure.
you were running the country, what would you do to wean people off of the entitlements that are so rampant in the country, number one? And number two, what would you do to turn around the employment picture and restore hope to the country at the same time?
All right, first on entitlements. We already have an example of what we've done in New Jersey. Now, in New Jersey, the equivalent on the federal level to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are public sector pensions, and health benefits provided to public sector workers. I mentioned in the speech that those two items were $121 billion underfunded when I took office. Now listen to that number, $121 billion underfunded. That's 4 times our annual state budget. So what did we do? I went out in September of 2010, 8 months into my term, and I put out a specific plan. Not a plan that says I'd like to rein in these expenses. And if I could come to agreement with the other side, I'll tell you what they are. No, that is not leadership. Okay? I said some very specific things. I said to public sector union members, you're going to have to contribute more and significantly more to your pensions. That we are not going to pay COLAs any longer until your funds reach 80% of solvency. We are going to make sure that only full-time people get into those pension systems so they benefit from them. And on the health insurance side, for public sector workers in New Jersey, when I came into office, many of them were paying nothing for their health insurance. Now we have negotiated and passed legislation that says that everyone has to pay a percentage of their premium, up to 35% of the premium on a sliding scale. And the legislation drops that grid into every collective bargaining agreement from the school board all the way up through the state level. Now, I could tell you that I made a lot of people unhappy with that, and I'll tell you one quick story. Some of the people I made the most unhappy were New Jersey firefighters. Now, I honor them for what they do, and they are extraordinary public servants. But I went to the firefighters convention 2 days after I made this proposal in September of 2010 in Wildwood, New Jersey, on the boardwalk. Yeah, about 4,000 firefighters in the room. And their governor was introduced to them, and let's just say that I did not get the reception you all gave me tonight. And they continued to boo. When I got up to the podium, they were booing more. And when they saw me, they really started booing. And then I said, come on, you can do better than that. And they did. And then, don't skip ahead to the next story. You're killing me. So, in a second. So, this is in essence, what I said to the firefighters that day. I said, understand you're scared. And I understand you're angry. And I understand you feel betrayed. And I know why. Because for 20 years, governors of both parties have been coming to this convention every year telling you they're going to give you more benefits and a bigger pension, and you weren't going to have to pay for it. Someone else was going to. And every year they voted for increased benefits for you, and they never put any money in to pay for it. And so now, you sit here angry and scared and feeling betrayed. And I understand why. But here's what I don't get. Why are you booing the first guy who came into the room and actually told you the truth? Because there's no political upside for me in doing that. And what I told them was, you may hate me now, and you may vote me out 3 years from now and put someone else in. But if we do what I'm saying we should do, 10 years from now, you're going to be looking on the internet for my address to send me a thank you note, because you're going to be collecting a pension when otherwise you would not have been. Now, that's what we need to do on the federal level. We need to tell people the truth. And the truth is that Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, to a lesser extent, are eating away at every dollar we raise in taxation. And so what we need to do is to sit down and get to a common sense approach to reduce the benefits, to means test some of this stuff, and to get people who don't need it to stop taking it so we can give it to the people at an affordable price who do need it. Now listen, that's common sense. I mean, I'm no genius, clearly. But here's the thing. Why can't we do that? Here's why. Because every time someone says it, every time someone goes near it, they get vilified. And then they read the polls and they go, well, okay. Here's the thing. Real leaders, they don't read polls, they change polls.
Governor Christie, I'm a Jersey girl.
Yeah, where from?
A borough of Middlesex in the county of Middlesex.
Excellent.
And I've been here for 2.5 years. My family is all still in New Jersey, and I just want to let you know, you make us so proud to be New Jerseyans and so proud to be Americans. And my Italian mother, she told me to tell you that you got to run for president.
Well, I'm going to press my luck here and respond to that. If I make you proud to be in New Jersey and proud to be American, and your Italian mother wants me to run for president, the hell are you doing in California? Get back to New Jersey. Let's go. Come home. Come home, for God's sake. What are you doing out here? I got a plane. You can come right back now if you want. Yeah, come on. Meet me by the side over there. We'll take you home.
Okay. Governor, right up here in the balcony up on top, right up here.
Governor,
Getting more taxpayers one at a time. Yes, ma'am.
Governor Christie, all kidding aside, I've been listening to you tonight. You're a very powerful and eloquent speaker. You know how to tell the American people what they need to hear. And I say this from the bottom of my heart, from my daughter who's right here and my grandchildren who are at home. I know New Jersey needs you, but I really implore you, I really do. This isn't funny. I mean this with all my heart. We can't wait another 4 years to 2016. And I really implore you to, as a citizen of this country, to please, sir, to reconsider. Don't even say anything tonight, of course you wouldn't. Go home and really think about it. Please. Do it for my daughter, do it for our grandchildren, do it for our sons. Please, sir, don't. We need you. Your country needs you to run for president.
Let me just say this, because there are a lot of people who have asked me about this over the course of the last number of weeks and months. And this is all I'll say about that tonight, is that I hear exactly what you're saying, and I feel the passion with which you say it, and it touches me. Because I could tell you, I'm just a kid from Jersey who feels like I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have the opportunity that I have to be the governor of my state. And so people say to me all the time now, when folks like you say those kind of things, for as many months as it's being said, like, you know, Governor, God, you know, why don't they just leave you alone? I've already given your answer. Isn't it a burden? And what I say to you tonight, and say to everybody else who's nice enough to applaud what she said, is that it isn't a burden. I mean, fact of the matter is that anybody who has an ego large enough to say, oh, please, please, please stop asking me to be leader of the free world. It's such a burden. If you could please just stop. I mean, what kind of crazy egomaniac would you have to be to say, oh, please stop, stop. It's extraordinarily flattering. But by the same token, that heartfelt message you gave me is also not a reason for me to do it. That reason has to reside inside me. And so that's what I've said all along, is I know, without ever having met President Reagan, that he must have felt deeply in his heart that he was called to that moment to lead our country. And so my answer to you is just this. I thank you for what you're saying, and I take it in and I'm listening to every word of it and feeling it too. And please don't ever think for a second that I feel like I'm important enough in this world that somehow what you're saying is a problem for me. It's a great, great honor. I'm extraordinarily flattered, and I really appreciate you being willing to stand up and say it with the passion you did. That's why this country is a great place, because of folks like you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Governor. On that note, if I could just ask everyone to remain in their seats so that Mrs. Reagan and Governor Christie can exit, we'd really appreciate it. And Governor, we cannot thank you enough for gracing us with your presence. It's been terrific.